my lovelies. Welcome back to Crazy But Not Dangerous. I'm Shorty Vaughn. And you know, it's another Tales from the Step Stool. I'm on the tall one today. Get a different vantage point. Yay, hooray. Well, it's been a super exciting couple of days. Good and bad. Family dinner went off without a hitch. Made 2 big meatloaves. Made some mashed potatoes. Made some peas and carrots, all the good things. Yay, hooray. A really good broccoli, purple cauliflower salad. That was super tasty. We still have leftovers of that. Anyhow, it was fun. We saw people that we hadn't seen in 10 years. Everybody was hugging and kissing all over each other. Nobody was that excited to play bingo. Kind of broke my heart just a little bit, but I told them next time, there's no getting around it. We're going to play some bingo. But everybody was, chit-chatting and catching up on old times and good things like that. So it's hard to fault them for that. Ended up with about 16 of the 25 people that were invited. And that's fine. Super exciting. We had more than enough food. We had leftovers. Sent home the little care packages with everybody. Yay, hooray. And what else? Yeah, so my refrigerator that morning decided that it was going to start leaking. At least I think it's the refrigerator. So it decided it was going to start leaking. I was doing stuff and getting things ready and running the food processor and everything. And then there's like this puddle. And the puddle gets bigger and bigger. And yeah, anyhow, it was a hot mess. I'm trying to sop it up with towels. I turn off the cold water because, you would think that the cold water runs to the refrigerator, right? Makes perfect sense to me. Turn off the cold water. You still got the hot for dishes. You're still in business. It kept leaking. It kept leaking. Perfectly dry under my sink. Everywhere else is like a flood. Well, it got to the point where, I've got to just turn off all the water in the kitchen and see if that does it. Otherwise, I got to go out onto the street, turn off the water to the house, and we're all going out to dinner at that point because there's no way I can have 16 to 25 people here with no water. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be pretty. And yeah, what a mess. Anyhow, so I turned off the hot water and the cold water, and the leak seemed to have stopped. So then it was just a matter of directing people all day long, like, oh, don't wash your hands on this kitchen sink. Why don't you go onto the bathroom sink and wash your hands there? Because I didn't want everybody to know, we got problems in the kitchen because everything was nice and sanitary. I left the water on long enough to get all of my major pots and pans and dishes done before everybody got here. And then it was paper plates. Then I turned it on just long enough to wash all of the serving vessels. And anyhow, you know what the bright side is about this flood? And there is a bright side because I tell you that there always is, even if you have to squint. So the bright side of the flood is that my floors have never been cleaner. I got to clean behind the refrigerator and underneath. Got to clean under the dishwasher and the surround of that. Got to clean under my stove. My kickboards. Yeah, the little black kickboards that go along the base of your cabinets. They look fantastic. Yay, hooray. Anyhow, that's all cleaned. It may not be a problem with my refrigerator. I'm not quite sure what's going on yet. Anyhow, I wasn't about to call on a Sunday and have to pay weekend rates. And then when I did call, and on Monday morning, they're like, we'll get you come out on Wednesday. So my water is off in the kitchen, and I'm not real excited about washing dishes and or cooking in my bathrooms. They're perfectly clean. I use a lot of bleach. It would probably be very safe, but it gives me the heebie-jeebies, so I'm just not that inclined to do it. So that's okay. So we've been eating some freezer meals. I have absolutely no idea what's for dinner tonight. I think I'm going to open a couple of cans and try to do one pot something. We'll see what I come up with. That's how my mother cooked. She just went into the kitchen and she'd look in the refrigerator and she'd look in the pantry and she'd look in the freezer and she'd just take a bunch of stuff and, you had a meatloaf or you had spaghetti or you had, like, hey, guess what? We're trying something new today, kids. And most of the time, it was delicious. She knew what flavors she liked. She knew what she thought went together well. And that's how she cooked. So, funny story is that my sister called me the other day and she said, I have Mom's recipe box. And she's moving. Do you want it? Because she does not cook. And thought that I might enjoy it. She's like, I haven't even opened it up, since I got it, since she passed away. But, I'm moving. I know that you're, stable in the same home. Would you like to have it? You can be the keeper of the recipe box. Well, sure. That sounds delightful. At the very least, I'd like to see it. I'm super excited just to look in there and see what kind of recipes they are. So she brought it over. And I waited until later in the night. We're all relaxed and everything. Andrew's gone off to do his, projects and hobbies and what have you. I pop it open and I'm looking at it. And it is 4 recipes. I mean, the box is just jam-packed. You would think there was a lot of recipes in here. Let me go get it. I'll show you too. Show it to you. So this is my mom's little recipe box. And it's dirty. Honestly, this is how I remember it looking even when she had it. Just kind of like fingerprinty and what have you. We weren't allowed to touch it. I don't know what she kept in here, to be honest, or what she was, maybe she had a little Mad Money stuck in here. Who knows? And it looks like it's just chock full of recipes. Like you're going to find some, great recipes in here for all kinds of vintage recipes and, congealed salads and dips and casseroles and stuff like that. It's pretty much all the same 4 recipes. It's a recipe for fudge. It's a recipe for magic bars. A recipe for St. Louis gooey cake. And recipes for her cream cheese, no bake, fruit cheesecake delight things that she used to make. Yeah, they're all variations on the same 4 recipes. All desserts, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So there no great family recipes, nothing like that. Just pretty much the same 4 desserts that she was known for, and collected like 20 recipes that were pretty much all the same. I think that's hysterical. That was my mother. What did you need a recipe for? Just go in there and cook some food. Make it delicious. Make sure you add salt and pepper. That's what food really needs. So yeah, my mom's recipe box. I think that's hysterical. All right, what else? What else has been going on? I mowed the yard today. Yesterday, the tree guys came to trim the lemon trees in the front yard because they had some wind damage from our really bad storm we had almost 2 weeks ago. Boy, they've been working their took us off just trying to keep up with all the storm damage from that one storm. Yeah, those 70-mile-an-hour winds really did a number on a lot of people. We were very fortunate, but they did a great job. They looked terrific. What else is going on? Piggy's waking up from a nap. He's so precious. He's like, Mama, you tore that kitchen apart. And he was so upset. He sees the refrigerator coming out. He's like, where are you going with the yums? That's the box. It's got the food in it. That's where my food is. Hello. And then, out comes the dishwasher and out comes the stove. And again, I'm just sopping up water. Anyhow, it's been an experience. But like I said, everything's nice and clean. Plumber will come tomorrow. I'm sure he'll just fix everything right up. I'm not worried about it one bit. I'm thinking tonight for dinner we might have some kind of like at-home Chipotle bowl kind of a thing. Because I'm thinking I can rinse a can of black beans. I've got some pre-cooked chicken in the freezer. Add those together. A little bit of veg, a little bit of salsa, a little bit of grated cheese. And I can serve those in a paper bowl. And you can eat it with a plastic spoon. So that might very well be what we have. We were looking at various takeout options, and Andrew wasn't all that inclined to eat any of them because we were both very used to eating at home over the last 3.5 years. So yeah, he pretty much shot them all down. Can't you come up with something? At the very least, what I can come up with: grilled cheese and tomato soup. It's a little hot for some soup, but that might be what we have, and that'll be okay too because we're still together, still gonna watch Jeopardy. Doesn't really matter what you eat so long as it fills your soul and your stomach. Nah, it'll be all right. Anyhow, I'll tell you a story before I get off of here. Anyhow, so I was telling you that I have older sisters: Sandy, Patty, Sherry, Linda, and Glenda. So my sister Sherry was going to get married, and this is a very, very long time ago, and decided that I would be her flower girl. Precious, precious. So I remember I was very young, and it's the mother of the bride's house, and my sister's going around. She's doing the last alterations on my sister's enormous wedding dress. Everybody's got bouquets and what have you in the refrigerator, and they're working on decorations and all the hustle and bustle, pre-wedding stuff that you do. Anyhow, so they've got me up on a chair, and they're doing the alterations on my little flower girl dress, and they're telling me, so what you do is you sprinkle the flowers, as you go down the aisle, yada, 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 and then, you're going to walk down with this little, remember that little boy that you met, Ted Roy? Hello, Ted Roy, if you're out there. And you're going to get married to him when you get up to the top of the aisle, the front of the aisle. You're going to marry him, and Sherry's going to marry Danny. And then you'll both be married. Won't that be fun? And they're kind of teasing me a little bit. You're going to marry Ted Roy. You're going to marry Ted Roy. And, just walk up the aisle just behind all the girls, and this is how you do it. And they're trying to be, teach me how I'm going to go up the aisle and what I'm supposed to do as the flower girl. But the teasing. And I had met this Ted Roy little boy. And he was redheaded and freckled. And I had never met anybody that was redheaded or freckled before. We lived really far out in the country, away from most people. And there were a lot of new experiences for me coming up. But I had met this little redheaded boy with freckles. I did not understand the freckles, and wasn't real keen on getting married. Anyhow, they got me so worked up that the day of the wedding, I'm just beside myself. I don't want to get married. I'm just a little girl. I don't want to get married at all. Why would you want to? And he's got red hair and freckles. And I've never seen anything like that in my whole life. Anyhow, I'm standing there in the back of the church, and my sister goes up. And then my other sisters are all her bridesmaids, so there they go, the whole lot of them up the aisle. And then, come on, Tanya. And that Ted Roy, he takes me by the hand, and we start walking down the aisle, and I'm throwing the flowers, and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking down the aisle. And anyhow, I get about halfway up the aisle, and I decide, that's it. There's just no way this is happening. Anyhow, I looked and yelled at him as loud as I could, I don't want to marry you. And then, threw my basket and took off for the hills. Because that's it, I'm not getting married. And I'm not marrying Ted Roy. Tanya Roy, who wants to do that? Anyhow, I took off, and then someone caught me at the end, and it'll be all right, and you don't have to get married. You're not getting married today. Sherry's getting married today. Anyhow, the photographer just thought that this was hysterical, and he comes and he gets right up in my face with his camera, my little baby tears streaming down my face and what have you. And I look, there's a photo of me somewhere where I've got my little finger pointed out, don't you dare take my picture. And this, of course, is before, videography Well, yeah, there was no video, thank goodness, of me having this temper tantrum and, telling off the photographer. And anyhow, yeah, yeah, didn't want to get married, didn't want to marry Ted Roy. Yeah, yeah, it was traumatic. Anyhow, Sherry married Danny, and I think that they just celebrated like their 48th wedding anniversary or something like that. She was telling me. So congratulations to them. Um, Yay, hooray! I did much better at my own wedding. Didn't run, didn't cry, didn't point my finger at the photographer, and yeah, you know, me and Andrew. There you go. We're all right. But I was not a good flower girl. And I've always wanted to redeem myself. So, like, anytime someone's getting married, I always offer to be the flower girl because I still think it would be adorable, even at this age, for me to be your flower girl. Nobody's taken me up on it yet. But one of these days they will. Anyhow, that's my little, yeah, didn't want to get married. Don't really want to get married again. Once was enough. Once was good, but it's enough. Anyhow, so that's my little story for today. And anyhow, I'm just waiting on the plumber so I can get back in the kitchen and make some yum yums. I did put up some, my first batch of cherries to dehydrate the other day, the day before family dinner. And those did dehydrate beautifully, but I want to take you through the whole process. So I've got to get some hot water in my kitchen back so I can do dishes and all sanitary things. So I can show you how I'm dehydrating my cherries. So that should be coming up sometime following Wednesday. If you have any questions you'd like for me to address on Tales from the Step Stool, go ahead and put them down below in the comments. And I'll make a list and then, get back to you all with my answers, and I'll answer just about anything. I wish that I could get my family to let me video the family dinner night. They're way private and way crazy, and some of them might be on the run from the law, who knows, but yeah, they're really private and really crazy, and I have to kind of respect that. They think it's funny that I do YouTube. It's another one of crazy shorties ideas, and they're supportive enough. Have I done crazy things in the past? Absolutely. Because, a life worth living. Try everything once. I'm not afraid to make a fool of myself. That might be a good thing. That might be a bad thing. I don't know. But, I always have fun trying. And this is way fun. And you guys make it fun. You guys make it extra special for me. Like your comments, like your subscribes and your likes, like all the friends I feel like I've met since I started doing YouTube. And there's no better feeling than when I post a video and, to see the likes, to see the views, to see, people tuning in, to see what I'm doing in my kitchen. And that's awesome. You don't know how much I appreciate you. You all feel like my extra special lovies. You really do. And so I've got to figure out some way to do like a family dinner night with you all. And I was thinking about like a Google Meet. While we might not be able to squeeze everybody into my living room, we could maybe do a Google Meet where people could log in by phone or video and join everyone. Then everyone would be able to see if they were on the meet, and we could, I don't know, make something. We could make something in the kitchen. I gotta go. I gotta go, try to figure out what I can make for dinner without dirtying anything up. Too bad, because right now I'm just hiding all of my dirty dishes, the necessary ones. I'm just hiding them in my dishwasher, and it's almost full, so I can probably only get one more pot in there, and maybe a couple of utensils. That's about it. Hiding them, keeping them out of sight, because if I had to see a sink full of dishes every time I walked by, I'd probably go crazy. Anyhow, be good, be careful, look both ways. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Crazy But Not Dangerous.